Hey everyone, it's Tracey, and it's another black screen. And I know I have a lot of new followers, so if this isn't something that you're into, then you can just pass this one by. It's the reason why I make all of my videos separately. Like I'll do this separate, I do my reviews separate, I do my vlog separate, I do my adventure separate. So you can pick and choose what you want to see and what you would rather pass by. And I know this isn't like a normal thing for most van lifers to do, but I know a lot of people, from what I hear, really enjoy these black screens, and so this is who that is for. And I only do them when I feel moved to talk about something. And tonight's one of those nights. And I know I have a woman I talked to, and she said whenever I have these, she goes into a room and just stops everything and just listens. So that's who this is for. And so it's been a really good week, like just personally, and it's been a bad week personally. And it's funny how the dichotomy of life shows up a lot of the times. I have this girl that I know. I worked with her. If you don't know, I'm a professional makeup artist, and I have worked as a model and everything else for a long time. And this girl I know, I worked with her on quite a few shoots. Really nice, really into what she was doing, really had a passion for it, has a passion for it. And she's only like 34. And she started having symptoms, I don't know, about 3 years ago. And she has stiff person syndrome, plus a lot of other complicated syndromes that I don't know if it comes along with that or is just what she has. And she is now in hospice, and she's only 34. And with all the complications she has, it's hard to control her pain. They quit feeding her. And again, she's only 34. And then another friend close to me found out that they have cancer, colon cancer, which is what my brother passed away from. So if this is the first time that you're listening to this, I'll just give you a quick review. My sister passed away at 42 from cervical cancer. My brother-in-law, her husband, passed away from a brain tumor. Well, he had a brain tumor. They operated. They said he had 5 years, and then they found a tumor around his carotid artery, and they couldn't operate. And then my dad passed away the day we buried my brother-in-law. We were going to have a cookout and found out my dad had a massive stroke, and he was in the hospital. He lived 3 more years, and then he passed away from congenital heart failure. And then my sister found out she had MS. Then my other sister had strokes when she was 62. She's in an assisted living home now. She's 68. I'm the only person that takes her out. So she's been calling me, asking me when I'll get home, because she wants to be taken out. And then my brother passed away just over 3 years ago from colon cancer at 62, 2 days after he turned 62. His birthday was October 15th. He passed away October 17th. My birthday is October 26th, and that was right before COVID started. So I think COVID started in like January. So yeah, and then on the high note is just where I'm at in my own life. hanging out with the best people I could ever imagine. And part of this is that, I've been getting a lot of comments just tonight. I got comments about, are you and Keith an item? And I have gotten that so much since I've been hanging out with Keith and John. But I can assure you, we're all just good friends. And it baffles me to think that we put ourselves in this mindset that you can only be friends like with the same sex. If you're friends with the opposite sex, that there has to be something going on. And I can assure you, from the moment we met, I just felt safe with them. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Keith and John. So Keith, and you know Keith from Cooking with Keith, and he's funny and just like easygoing. And Keith is married. He's from Canada, and he comes down here to the U.S. During the winter to come south, just like I do. And he just likes to travel. And now that's a relationship where you can trust someone that, you have different things that you like, and you can let the person go live their lives and blossom and fulfill what they love to do. And I guess maybe that's why I'm not in a relationship, because I don't understand the ones that I have been with, in the relationships I've been in, have squashed that in me. And I don't know if that resonates with you or not, but I just want to be free to fly and live my dreams out. And that doesn't mean that you can't do that with another person, but hopefully you have someone that is supportive of you becoming a better you, because we only have one life to live. And Keith is hilarious. If you haven't watched me for a while, I'm very sarcastic. I love to just be funny. I love to make fun of myself. I'll make fun of myself before anybody else does, because I just don't take things so seriously. And John has the kindest heart ever. I don't know if anybody ever met, but John is the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. And here's the thing, the difference between the two is Keith loves to be on camera. Keith is, loves to be the center of attention, loves to be around people. And John is the total opposite. He's very quiet. He's very, to himself. And John has a girlfriend, Gail, and she comes here a lot, or he goes there, and we all hang out, and she is the loveliest woman ever, and they are perfect for each other. And so we all hang out together. And it's just kind of sad to me that people would have to think that because people have become friends, that there has to be something more. And, that leads me to community. And what I've realized that I've been missing in my life is when I was home in Minnesota before I took off in the van, I'd stay home on the weekends and let's go out. And then it came to that time, and I don't know if you're like me, you're like, I'm too tired to go out, or I have to clean the house. And I know so many people who have homes, and so they work all week, and then on the weekend they're like, oh, you know what? I have to rake the yard. I have to do this. I have to do that, as far as their house goes. And so the whole week, they're either working for their work or they're working on their house. And that's what I love about van life, is that I pick up and go. I can go wherever I want. I can, my destiny is wherever I choose for it to go. And believe me, that wasn't always the case. But I just want to tell you, John, Keith, and I are really the three musketeers, the ones that I know for the rest of my life, and I'm 57. They're, I don't want to say the family I never had, but, when you're in a family, everybody has their own things going on. But with us, we understand each other, and we all met each other at the right time because we were all in really kind of, I don't want to say desperate situations, but low points at our lives, looking for, and I didn't know at the time, some connection. And I know now there are certain people in my life when I go home that I truly want to reconnect with and truly spend time with. And it's very few, 2 people. And so it goes to show that you can have really superficial relationships with the same sex, the opposite sex, but it's souls that connect. It's not genders, it's souls. And that's how I personally see people. I don't see them as gender. I see them as souls connecting. And that's what we found in each other. And we found, when you look for a support group, like in anything that, like if you're dealing with something, you're like, boy, I could use support in this. And that's what we found in each other. We found a support for each other, and we laugh. Laughing is my favorite thing to do. I don't know if you know. And here's the thing. If you met me in person, I would be exactly how you see me on my videos, because I cannot pretend to be happy. I cannot, And what I've realized too is, and this is like a new thing since I've been on the road, I'm never not happy. I sometimes may be crabby, and I'll tell people like, I'm crabby today. And, but it's not like I'm angry or mad or anything. It's just one of those days. And I tell people, and then, after I say it, then usually I'm like, yeah, okay, I feel better. But from what I've been through, I know, when I was sitting in my sister's hospital room when she was only 42, and excuse me, I was only 28, and I didn't know anything about life. All I knew was the good stuff, you go to college, you have fun, and then that stopped me in my tracks. Like, I didn't think, I had my grandparents pass away, but, that's normal when you're that age. But when you're 28 and your sister's 42 with 2 kids, and Chad was 12, Anna was 9, and Anna was adopted from Bogota, Colombia, when she was a baby. To see someone you love go through so much pain and hardship, it's really hard to take on yourself. And then through everything I've been through, what I realized is that I only have one life. And every time I go to my sister's assisted living home to take her out, the dementia patients are on the first floor, which I don't understand. But that every time I go there, I would remind myself, Tracey, live your life. And so when I was in my sister's room when she was 42 and she was passing away in hospice, I looked at her and I wonder what she wished she would have done before she passed away. Because if we had like 10 years to know, okay, you're going to pass away at 42, you plan for that. You do things. You know you have a certain time limit to get things squished into. But here's the thing, and that's the thing. None of us know. And that's why I took off in the van. I was more afraid not to go than I was to go and face whatever I was going to face. I knew nothing when I drove out of that driveway. I knew nothing. I didn't know where I was going to stay. I didn't know how it was going to go. I just knew I was getting to Phoenix to do NASCAR, and I just had to drive there. And if you followed me, I don't know if I stopped at, I don't know if it was a Love's or something like that, and one of the guys gave me free coffee, and I was literally crying because I was like, wow, everybody's so nice. And I can honestly tell you, on this whole journey, 2 years of traveling during the winter cross country, and I guess maybe I'm very lucky, but I found so many amazing people. And lately I've really been missing my dad. My dad was blue collar, totally blue collar. 6 kids. Him and my mom were married for, is she going to get me 59 years when he passed away? Yeah, at 79. Because they were 19 and 20 when they got married. And now my mom's 93. And you know Joy, if you've seen my videos. Can't wait to get back, and Joy and I will continue doing videos. But it's kind of like Keith and John and I. You know, they've kind of picked up where Joy left off, and they fill me, and they give me support, and they love me just for who I am. We laugh until we cry. We know each other's secrets. We take care of each other. And I know for sure, I was talking to my coaching client the other night, and we were talking about how what we're missing is that community, that loving each other. And I think COVID was good and bad at the same time. It isolated us, but then it made us realize how isolated we really are, and we even really were before it all happened. And I know that's what it did for me, is that when you have to face yourself without any distractions, that's when you learn how you can really grow from that. I hope that makes sense. That we're so busy keeping ourselves busy with, our phones, our social media and stuff, that it just made us stop. And when we didn't have any interaction, because we thought being at work was interaction, and then we would go home and want to be to ourselves because, it's a lot. It's taxing to work, and they keep asking more of us. So that when you could really stop and see all the time that you were giving to all these things, that the things you should really be giving time to are the things that really fill you, the people that fill you, the things that fill you. And, I know it's not easy I know a lot of people think that they can't, do something like I'm doing or go after their dreams. But I'm telling you, you can do it even aside from, your jobs. Because, listen, we're pretty much in a recession. And most people have to work a 9-to-5 job. I have my daughter, and she's going to be 22 the end of this month. And, I do a lot of reviews, but the ones that I choose to do is because I truly believe in them and I love them. And then, like with Keith, I can't take 2 e-bikes home, and Keith wanted one. So I sold him one for a very good deal. And then I took that money and gave it to my daughter because she's struggling because her dad doesn't help us, hasn't helped her with college. And so I gave her my car. I bought her a car, long story. And then I just gave her my car in October, and so I'm trying to get her to the end of June. And then, though, she has a job. She just got a job. Yay. And she'll be making $48 an hour until from June till September. And then she'll be a teacher in that job, and then she'll be in the district, so hopefully she'll get a job done. And and that's another thing. I had a talk with her, and so she's the coxswain of her rowing team in college. Has been for 4 years. She's a captain. She has a 4.0. She is like the biggest blessing of my whole entire life. And so I could never say anything bad about her dad. And I tell her this because he gave me her. So, I get mad sometimes, and now not anymore, but, going through all that stuff. But she just said to me the other day, and believe me, she is a normal-sized woman for 22 years old. And I guess a coxswain is supposed to be like light and, for the boat and stuff like that. And she said, Mom, she goes, the one thing about rowing, she goes, when I'm done, I'm done. She goes, and they talk about my weight and stuff. And again, she's not overweight. She's a normal person, woman. And she said, but I know my head is more important than my body. And I was like, yes. And I feel like for me, that was like, I have done my job. And so it's not just your head, but it's your heart. And your body. If you don't know, I've done 2 fitness competitions. And, you think fitness, like you're supposed to be healthy and stuff, or that was the most unhealthy thing that I could have ever done for my body. I depleted of water, I depleted of carbs, and then guess what? Once it was over, I made have looked good at the competition, but then, a week later, I'm binge eating and, 20 pounds heavier. And so for her to get that at 22 is just such a moment for me. And, I just want you to focus on what is truly important in your life. And that's what I've learned from all the things that I've been through, and how I could leave is because I know how short life is. And here's the thing too, I love my mom, I love my sister. It was really hard to leave them, and I felt guilty for a while. But what's the point of somebody staying because of guilt, and then it makes 2 people not happy? And when I talk to my mom, I'll call her like every 3 days or something. And she's like, well, I can see in your videos, and I'm so happy. You're so happy. And that's what relationships should be. That somebody is so happy for you because you're happy. Because what does it mean for 2 people to be unhappy? And so for me, I know being a parent that's what it is. I want my daughter to fly. I want her to experience things. And I want her to feel joy and security in herself, which, believe me, growing up, I did not feel that. And I always tell her, you're not here for anybody else's pleasure. And that's the thing with looks. Looks fade. And, it's just not sustainable. We all get old. But hopefully we all get old. I want to be, that meme where it's like, you want to die sliding into home base with nothing left, everything left at the plate. And I played softball. And that's how I want to be. If I end up in hospice, I don't want somebody to look at me and say, I wonder what she wished she would have done because they will already know I've done what I've always wanted to do. So nobody will ever question that about my life. And I hope that you can break the shackles of just society and what society we think expects of us. Why would you spend your time? I can understand wanting to lose weight, or get healthy. I'm always striving for that, but it's about being healthy. It's not about looking good in a bikini so somebody else thinks I'm good looking. It's just about me being healthy to live my best life. And so just remember, you're not here for somebody else's pleasure. You're not here for their viewing. You're not here to please them. You're here to live the one life that you have and live it to the fullest. And any day, like I said, it just reminds me, and I think that's why I want to do this, that, a friend of mine found out that, they have colon cancer and they don't know how bad it is yet, and they will be finding out. And it's that time in between, that waiting, and I'm sure it's going to be all fine. And then my girlfriend, who's 34, and she was healthy up until 3 years ago. And so you never know. We never think we're on borrowed time. We always think, things are good now. But I just want to remind you to take the opportunities that you have and just cut bait on things that don't serve you anymore. And I want you to find your happiness, and I want you to find your John and your Keith, and not in a sexual way. And I want you to know that men and women can be friends and support each other. We're all humans. I don't think of people as men and women and whatever. If somebody supports me, I support them. And when I support people usually that don't even support me, I always wish them the best. But at 57, I've learned to cut bait of those that I know don't really have my best interest at heart. And so I just want you to hopefully think about that. You're not here for anybody else's pleasure. You don't have to be 110 pounds. You don't have to fit into society's standards. You just, if you want to be healthy for yourself. Be healthy for your family. If you want to hang out with people, hang out with them because they support you and they love you, not because maybe they're the cool people or something, and you feel maybe you'll be cool, because it's cool to not be cool, because I'm not cool. And honestly, I was more in tune with the people who were kind of ostracized in high school than I was with, my friends, the jocks, because I understood their pain, and I could feel their pain. And I think because I think I'm an empath, that I can understand where people are coming from. And I know a lot of you are too. And I think that's why you follow me, because you can see that. I really do not care about the number of followers I have. I don't care about the money that I get. This is kind of just an extra for me. And I've almost stopped a couple times. But because I know people get something out of me just sharing my own life, which is nothing special. I am no different than you. I can tell you, I am no different. I have the same feelings, we all do. Take away the skin and we're all just human, and it's what's in your heart that you should be attracted to or drawn to hang out with people. And again, it's not gender. John and Keith, they have given me, and I will tell you, kind of faith back in humanity. This journey, this van life journey, has given me faith back in humanity, because so many people, I in turn have helped people along the way, but so many people have helped me, and that's the circle. And I was just talking to my coaching client too about how I had to learn, and I'm still learning, how to take like compliments or gifts or everything graciously, because if someone is giving from their heart and then you say, oh, you know what, I don't need that, or, oh, that's not a big deal, it stops that good energy from completing the circle. And again, I'm still practicing that. I am still practicing that. And so many of you have been so kind to me, supporting me, loving me, cheering me on this journey. And, I try to get to as many comments as I can to do that for you. And in the end, that's what life's about, because I hope when you come to the end that people can look at you and not have to say, I wonder what they wish they would have done. That they know that you were already doing it. So, okay, there you go. And go out and make an adventure, no matter how big or how small. You don't have to sell everything and move into a van. I did that. You don't have to be that grandiose. Just do something small, a small adventure. And go call someone you love, and as Joy says, tell them that you love them, and don't you dare forget your magic. I'll see you in the next one.